Good morning, colleagues. Let's start. Today, it's Wednesday, the 18th of July. We are meeting with the Auditor General of South Africa on the assessment of Department of Higher Education and its entities for the 2025-2026 annual performance plans. Then we'll also get a briefing from the Department of Higher Education and Training on the responses on issues raised during the oversight visit to the three provinces we have visited this year, which is the Northwest, Gauteng, and the Free State. So that's what we're meeting about today. Last week, I did indicate to members members earlier on in the meeting wanted to get a sense if the minister had responded to the deadline we had given her, which was the 11th of June 2024, on the release of the independent panel that assisted her with the SETA board chairpersons. We had indicated to members that she was within the time frame, as we had not reached close of business on the day. And then she wrote to us just before close of business, requesting a postponement. But the letter was not clear, which the letter that I shared with members, on why the minister was requesting a postponement. I wrote to her asking her to explain. And then she did respond. I wrote to her on the 13th of June. And then on the 14th of June, she wrote back to us indicating that she had initially asked for a legal opinion surrounding the matter, so that whatever she does, she's not accused of whatever. I did share with members. Yesterday, she wrote to us just after 2 or just before 3, giving us the list of the panels that would have assisted her in appointing NSFAS board, NSA, the SETA board chairpersons, and I can't remember the fourth one, our council to universities, ministerial appointees to universities. I then forwarded the minister's letter to yourselves, and I released a statement informing the public of the fact that we had received the letter from the minister well before the 30th of June that she was requesting, and were not granted her because I had said in the letter, I think that was written to us by Honorable Khakhaun, asking that we rather summon the minister. And I responded to her saying that I don't think we're at that point where we can summon, because if you look at Section 56 of the Constitution, that gives us the powers to summon. It indicates that it's only when they've refused to furnish us with information. But in the letter of the minister, she was not refusing. She was just asking for more time to consult with the panel. But we did say that we will discuss the matter this morning. So I'm going to note you guys. I know I've also received now in the morning, I've also received a letter from Honorable Msezan of MKP. So I was driving on the way. I could not read it. I've not been able to read it. So I'm going to note you members, just put few minutes on this subject so that we put it aside. I know that you members would have said a mouthful. A number of you would have commented about the names that the minister would have released. So I am going to note you guys. So I will start with you, Honorable Khakao. I'll follow with you, Honorable Khabo, Honorable Msezana, and I'll close with you, Honorable Law. Press the mic. I want to see if it's working. Okay, yeah, this one is working. So just less than 5 minutes, Honorable Khakao. Let's hear.
Okay, let me turn myself in first. Hold on, Chairperson.
Yeah.
Allow me to do so that I keep track of my own submissions.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Right. No, I want to track myself. Now the GNU is still fine. All right.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Chairperson, and greetings to yourself, colleagues of the committee, the department, all officials, and the people of South Africa who are viewing today's committee. Chairperson, even though the minister has revealed at least 5 names of the people that she claims served in her committee, you would have noted that in the letter that she sent us, there's one person that is concealed. There's one name whom we do not know who that person is. And simply the reason the minister states that that person is uncomfortable with them being known is ludicrous in my understanding. Particularly because we've maintained the point, Chairperson, that it is not up to the minister and whoever her Father Ghost is to decide whether or not they're going to comply with the requests of Parliament or not. It is up to Parliament to dictate those terms, and therefore, although you said that we don't have to go through a summons process, I want to move and urge the committee to consider the following action steps, Chair. The first one, Chair, should be that the people that have been revealed, whose identities have been revealed, all of them must come before this House, this Parliament, to furnish us with a full detail of the minutes of the meetings that they held, as far as the selection and evaluation process is concerned, fully so. And equally, we'd also like to have, in addition, the report subsequently that was compiled and sent to the NSA for the final consideration of the appointment of those names. The people I'm referring to, Chairperson, are Advocate Terumutau. Advocate Terumutau, who the minister communicated was the chairperson of this panel, however, says that never sat in any meeting. Particularly, the reason why this is a point of interest is because you would know that Advocate Mutau currently has a 2 million rands tender with the city of Johannesburg that comes directly from MMC Loyiso Masupu's department, because MMC Masupu is currently the MMC for cooperative services within the city of Johannesburg. The reason why that is a point of consideration for us and an interest is because the same Loyiso Masupu was appointed as the Food Bev board chairperson. So we want to know exactly what that relationship is, if it exists, 1. 2, the second person we're referring to is Asisi Postolani. Asisi Postolani is a former SASCO member, a leader, a former ANC Youth League in the Western Cape leader, who currently serves as the advisor to the minister in her office. Number 3, we want Nelisiwe Simane, who's currently the chief of staff of the minister, to also appear before Parliament to give us a contribution in the panel that the minister says she sat in. We also want Mabuza Ngubane, to come here, who's the chief director of SETA coordination, to come before this committee to directly account for the contribution they played. The same Mabuza Ngubane, you would recall, lied directly to my face when I asked him whether he knows anything about the process in the panel, and he unequivocally said, no, he knows nothing. So he must come and tell us whether he lied then or whether it's the minister lying about him now. The last person would be Rulani Ngwenya, chairperson, who is currently the Deputy Director General for Corporate Services in the Department of Higher Education. These are people that the minister says served in this panel, in addition to the concealed other name. I call him Casper the Ghost, because the minister still does not want to give us. Those people must come and account accordingly. But equally, I want to refer, Chairperson, to the criminality of lying to Parliament. Equally, we've cited this as a committee before in the past, that it is a criminal offense for anybody to lie to Parliament. And equally, I would like to move, Chairperson, that you as the chairperson of this committee must consider to go lay criminal charges on behalf of this committee for people who lied before this committee. The evidence is there, Hantec provides us with that information, and we should be able to get legal advice accordingly to get that process running. And that's on behalf of the committee. You would also note concurrently, Chairperson, that the Democratic Alliance referred Minister Ngabane to the Ethics Committee for violating her ethics of code. There's an affidavit that will be readily made available to the rest of the public in that regard. So that's where I am. Did I miss anything? No. Okay. Thank you, Chair.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Khabo. Honorable Khabo.
No, thank you very much, Chairperson. Thanks for the opportunity. Chair, let me firstly start by probably agreeing with the proposal that the panel that has been presented, as the report indicates, of the minister must appear before the committee, so that they can take the committee into confidence in relation to the process that they had followed in appointing the chairperson or recommending those suitable candidates to be appointed by the minister. But with that being said, Chairperson, I equally want to propose that we must run this process both politically and administratively. You to understand that before the meeting of the 30th of May, Chairperson, in our interactions, the DG, as he's leading the department, he also indicated that there was no way that he was involved in the process as the leader of the department. On the meeting of the 30th of May, Chairperson, where the minister could not respond to some of the questions, one of the officials also confirmed, I think is the coordinator of the SETAs, who had confirmed that he was involved in the process in a form of receiving your applications and also processing those applications, Chairperson. I think we must not take that thing lightly. We must also find a way of processing this matter. And I think, Chairperson, it's also important that the DG, including the minister, in their responses and when they also appear, I will also propose that we should have a separate meeting, Chairperson, that the minister must come before the committee, including the DG, so that they can clarify some of these things as and when we are also calling the panel. Meaning that, Chairperson, the panel must not only appear alone, the DG must form part of that panel, the minister must form part of that panel, Chairperson. Part of the things that the minister and the DG would have to explain is their interpretation, and would plead with them not to refer us to Google or encyclopedia. It will be their interpretation of an independent panel. Because what we are seeing here is nothing independent, but rather an extension of an administration office of the DG. In fact, to a large extent here, Honorable Chairperson, the impression that has been created in the society is that the minister was at the forefront of all of this. But in actual fact, when you look at the panel that has been presented, it's actually an extension of the DG's office. And as much as we are also entertaining the issues of the minister appearing before the portfolio, this ministry has a minister and deputy ministers. Both the Deputy Minister, Buti Manamela, and Deputy Minister, Goni of the Democratic Alliance, must also appear before this committee. It is...
Yeah, it's fine.
Can I be protected, Chairperson? There is a sudden energy that we do not know what informs it.
Let's, we don't have to like what Honorable Khabo is saying. I'm sure there are some times where we don't like what each one of us is saying, but let's remain calm. Honorable Khabo, continue.
No, thank you very much, Chairperson. Let me re-emphasize what I've said earlier on. The minister, as and when she's appearing before the committee, The minister must be accompanied by the Deputy Minister Buti Manamela and Deputy Minister Goni of the Democratic Alliance. That's what I've said, and that's what I'm going to re-emphasize. I'll never be threatened to withdraw what I'm saying. Chairperson, as part of moving forward, I also proposed, I would want to propose the third item, Chairperson, of us to conclude this matter and make sure that the minister, including the panel, they appear before the committee within 7 days so that this matter can be resolved once and for all, Chairperson. But in the same breath, Chairperson, I'll also propose that as a committee, we must begin to look into the legal framework that is there. It is not for the first time that the DG has misled this committee. It's not for the second time that the DG has misled this committee. It's not even for the third time. You know, Chairperson, it's in Tate Zungu. We have been in Parliament for a year now, but it feels like we have been here for 10 years. You are subjecting us to unnecessary trauma. You are abusive to us. From where I'm sitting, I don't understand why are we still having the DG as the DG of this department. Moving forward, you must explain to us why is he not resigning as the DG of this department. Because out of everything that we have encountered as a department, all of these things, they boil back to the office of the DG. The failure for us to spend money accordingly, the failure for us to hold people accountable, the failure for us to implement, even including investigation reports. I mean, the Duja report, we have spent more than 100 million, I mean, more than 15 million on the report, on the investigation. But up until today, nothing has been done. That is my proposal as part of the recommendation on closing this matter, Chairperson. The DG must be taken on account, must be taken to task. I'm happy he's present today, and I'm glad that he's in a good mood. He's even smiling. I'm also in a good mood. That is my proposal, Chairperson. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Khabo, Honorable Msazan.
No, thank you very much, Chair. I've been largely covered by the two honorable members that spoke before me, so I will not attempt to perhaps repeat what they've already submitted. Maybe just, Chair, for record purposes, I'm going to just highlight the contents or the points of the content of the letter that we've sent to you on behalf of the Umkhonto we Party, as mandated by the millions of South Africans. Chair, the letter only has 5 points, at least the first letter that is of subject to this matter. The first point being a request for the minister to submit to the portfolio committee the process, the criteria in which the minister followed in identifying each of the individual members of the panel, the confirmation and correspondence exchange between the minister and each panel member, including their acceptance to be included in the panel. The third part, Chair, obviously is the one part that is making South Africans very furious regarding the submitted names of the said individuals who are panel members, where the minister only sent just a name and a surname. I suppose that the minister is still referring the committee and South Africans to Google again for them to find the actual profiles and credibility of these said members. So we also request that the minister finishes us with the profiles of these members. And the fourth point, Chair, is the explanation as to why the chairperson of the panel has never attended any meetings, including whether the panel did meet its quorum. Because if they did not have a chairperson, then who was then presiding over those meetings? But a final point, Chair, which I think is a point that was also indicated or highlighted by Honorable Khagao, is the point of the minutes of each meeting, including the attendance register, so that we are able to be taken to confidence. I think we require this in a space of 7 days, but even shorter, because obviously the minister and the panel will have all of these things while we await that particular session where we'll then be able to interact with this independent panel. But Chair, I mean, if you could allow me as well just to pose one question to the DG as it relates to another very important matter, which is also a letter that I sent to you. But I'll only ask the DG if he has indeed finished the minister with a report. The minister confirmed in Parliament on the 28th that the DG would have given her a report on the very serious matter obviously it's concerning because the DG is implicated or rather alleged to be implicated in the subject matter of a report that relates to illegal appointment of a regional manager of KwaZulu-Natal. So the minister said that he would get a report from the DG by the 30th of May. So if the DG just can confirm that indeed he's finished the minister with that report. Obviously, it's not the report that we're looking for, is the Umkhonto weSizwe Party, because the report we're requesting from the minister is a report that would have been done by an investigation or an investigative body on the subject matter, not the DG. But in any case, we just want to know if the DG has finished the minister with any report as it relates to that critical matter. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zama. Van der Walt. Thank you, Honorable Van der Walt. Honorable Law.
What do you talk?
No, thanks, Chair. Chair, I think we.
Apologies. Come down.
Sorry. Take water. Yeah, shall rest us. No, it's fine. Thanks, Chair. What becomes much more of a concern is that we would have anticipated this particular issue to come in this way. And I'm saying this because we would have seen again or would have been confronted by a huge maladministration that we've been confronting us. And I want to say this because what we are faced with is not only misleading or taking South Africans backward, but it means the problems that are facing our students, the failure to pay their allowances, the failure for NSFAS to respond to issues, it's centered from the department. Nowhere else but at the department, because failure for these entities or in either way people to respond to issues, we are confronted where a point where a panel that happened to have supposed to have been volunteers today are employees of the department, whom happens to directly account to the Director General, who happens to say in any institution, if you second a person to any political principal's office, the DG should have known that I have got this response from the minister through the letter that requests that 2 of my directors or employees will serve in panel, and then I will give them this time off, and then they will be able to deal with the matter. It will take us back to check and say, Chair, did we really scrutinize the 573 applications? Did we really do justice for the South Africans and for the people who could have applied and who could have met merit and said this is the criteria? So it says to us, one way or the other, there must be a distinction between the Director General and Deputy Ministers. I'm going to assist you here. In the presence of the minister in all of the oversights, the DG is always there. We get confused to check, is he a deputy minister or a DG? But at the helm of the problems, we've got maladministration in the department. where they are acting vacancies, where there are issues of non-payments, where entities are failing to account and comply, and yet we are confronted with these problems. So we must look onto those things, and we must bring the minister here to come and account for everything she said in this committee. She must come and tell us, where did she get the responses where she was giving us to? Because we told her that that panel that she's talking about should have had the people of the department and the same people who lied in front of Parliament, who came in front of us, who are always coming here and filling up and wasting taxpayers' money. How much are we paying? How much are we paying for people to come here and we only have 3 people who are responding to us? It must come to an end. At the next meeting, we must have the DG, we must have the DDG, and we must have the PLOs, and the rest must not arrive here. We must save the money for our students and start focusing the money somewhere. So I'm raising all of this because we are playing with South Africans here. We are playing with the emotions of South Africans, and we are failing the government because of our incompetencies. We can't even run the department because we must every day deal with a mess. Every day we are dealing with damage control as members of Parliament. Every day we must try and see how we put issues into perspective. So I want to put into perspective to say the minister must come and account, and we can only deal with it and give her our questions, and she must respond to them immediately when we are going to have to deliver when she's here. So the sooner the better she arrives, and then we also summon the DG so that we're able to get to say what is going to happen, because they must both take accountability on what is happening on the Department of Higher Education. So, Chair, my submission is that we call the minister. The sooner the 7 days is going to take long, but because we must follow the law, let's follow the 7 days. Summon them here in Parliament, and we deal with the issues. And there must be consequence management, Chair. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Honorable Law. When we pen people, Honorable Maseko, and there's only 4 people who raise their hands, and we allocate time. We allocate time because of the number of hands. Now, when we raise hands halfway through, we are now making our jobs very difficult because we allocate. We could have said 4 minutes or 3 minutes, so that we are able to cover all the issues within a specific time. So, raise hands when we're starting, because we don't want you to raise hands halfway through. It's as if now you are provoked by somebody who said something, and that's not what we want to do. Honorable Maseko, let's go.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chair, Gimo meeting for today, much as your modus operandi that changes every day, we appreciate. But if Kilimo meeting, whatever that can instigate me to raise a hand, I hopefully going to do that, and I'll apologize in advance if there's something that I pick up that as I'm in the meeting, because cannot be I'm in the meeting, I listen and I close off. I listen all the time, and if there's anything that instigates my hand to be raised to address something because I'm in the meeting, I have to do that. So I really, really apologize in advance. It will happen that way until the end of the term, as long as I'm in this portfolio committee. What I wanted to talk about, Chair, is the issue of if we can give you the mandate for the way forward, in fact. To get that communication, the letter, and also get the response of the blacked out names, to get a direct, if she is going to give us those names, because we demand those names, or not, that is not going to happen, and separate. So if it's possible, if she can give us, when she comes in front of us, if beforehand in those 7 days, we can be finished with those names that she blackened out, because she has to give us the names, or still is going to be the fight that we discuss when she's here, that she has to give us those names. We want to get that information separately. Already she has given us the ones that she has given us. The other one, it will be, please, the report, when we engage with the NSA, when we talked about this, how they received the information one day that they had to approve the list of the panelists. So if we can get the letter or whatever that report that they do have who submitted those documents, who handled the engagement with the NSA. If we can get the letter of making an appointment to meet with the NSA. I wonder if you get what I mean, because for them to schedule that meeting on that specific date, there was a communication. Who called that meeting for them to meet on that specific day, for them to look at that list that was handed over, and who presented those lists on that specific day that they met? Because the last time when we engaged, they said it was a process of just the one day that they got that and they had to approve it, somehow give it back to the minister. That is important to me, that we get that information of who was the driver of the whole engagement between the minister and the department. And lastly, I mean, minister, when she was here, she talked about how she didn't involve anyone at all, even the DG. And now it's a little bit of confusing when I hear that now the DG has the responsibility, because the whole meeting when we were engaging with the minister was saying the accounting authority for that. It's me that is doing that. So can we maybe ask the committee that we separate the issues? There are a lot of issues that we are dealing with. Can we mandate the chairperson to get the minister as the accounting authority specifically for this? Because we've been saying minister. And I agree with the DGs. They have to come also and engage so that we can get the way forward of how can we go about planning for the future so that something like this mustn't happen ever again. And I suspect we are going to engage with the other panelists that we have seen with the information that she has shared with us. For now, we are concentrating on the setters. We are going to engage again with the NSFAS because it's a nightmare to the students out there. We are going to engage with the other panelists that are there, the decision that they have made. But for now, because it's set, if we can champion the whole process so that when we go to the other board, we are not going to have to go to and fro about the legal and all that. So let's champion this and try to tighten the screws on everything that we do as a committee so that we can focus on oversight as we move forward, Chair. I'm going to make that. Thank you very much.
Honorable Maseko, thank you. Honorable Souls, you want to say something? The mic there is not working. Maybe if we can get a different one, yeah. That one is not working. No. Yeah. Introduced to the minister. Low, what's wrong?
I think it's just that Honorable Solar actually he could have started with the strong prayer like would have
Yeah.
the comment, but he just
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Chair, and my apologies for coming late. And thank you for your indulgence, Chair. I think for me, it's clear that based on what's before us, that the minister has lied to us on the record. And two, based on the independence of the panel is clearly not independent. And then two, we must remind the minister that she is legally obligated to tell the committee who all the panelists are, not only some. There's not a opening for discretion. All the names must be provided. And when the minister speaks to us, the assumption is that the minister is the mouthpiece of the entire ministry. So when the minister speaks, we don't look at it as it's the minister only as an individual. So when the minister spoke and misinformed the committee, it is the entire ministry that has done so. As such, when we do have the minister come in account, it should be the minister and all the representatives, the advisors, the minister, the technocrats, both deputy ministers, so that we can understand whose role was which within the process. This particular issue is incumbent on the entire ministry to answer. So, Chairperson, I will rest with that and say that we will await the presence of the entire representatives for the entire ministry to come before the committee and then tell us the truth around this process. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. We've had you, members. We've taken notes on what you have asked. We will write a number of letters. One to the minister or to the ministry, informing them that we intend on bringing them back to come and respond to some of the issues that we have raised. This period, we're just worried, we're just checking the calendar we have. It's a period of APPs. We're supposed to approve the budget of the department. That's why we have the AG here today to deal with the APPs. And next week on the 25th, we are having the department because we can't approve the report of the budget of the department without going through that process. We might need to apply to the House Chair for a date or for a sitting outside of our normal sitting, because the following week after the 25th, on a Wednesday, we were supposed to approve the report. I think on the 2nd, we were supposed to approve the report to be submitted for ATC before 12. And then the budget of the I think it was the time of Honorable Souls that was supposed to finish. I don't know why the alarm went off. So, and then on the 3rd was supposed is the debate of the budget vote 17. So, where the only other time we had, but it don't work because it's also a half day of the 16th of July. It won't work because we have a half day. So what we will do, members, when we write to the panelists and the minister, we'll ask them to respond to us within 7 days. And then we'll share the responses with you guys whilst we engage with the Chair of Chairs office to get approval for. We had applied for this Friday, the 20th. We had applied to a decline. We were supposed to have a meeting this Friday. That was declined because Parliament had as a program of members training, something like that. So we will engage the Chair of Chairs on a suitable date for us to have a discussion with these people, the panelists and the ministry, including the department. I think we must say that we're very disappointed that uh, we received the list that we received. I think you've heard from the members. Extremely disappointing because we spent literally the whole day on the 30th of June, or 30th of May. Thank you very much. On the 30th of May, dealing with a few things. One of them was, the independence of the panel itself. The other was the credibility of the process and the beyond reproach part of the process. And I must say that the list that we have received does not, inspire confidence that when we appear before Parliament, we do take our responsibilities serious. So we will do so. There's a process that must be followed. We'll engage with legal on the powers, privileges, and immunities, section 14, section 17, subsection 2, where people mislead or lie to Parliament. There's a process that must be followed. We will engage with legal on what must be done in that process. This will not be the first time, DG. We had the department present before us the third quarter performance of the department. And in the presentation, there was a blatant lie on a target that was supposed to be achieved on the 31st of December, 2024. And you guys said you had achieved that because you thought changing the target, we will not see it. And we told you guys in that meeting that you are lying to us. Because the target was the Higher Education Act changes to the Higher Education Act to be submitted to Parliament by the 31st of December 2024. And when your team presented that, you're not there, you're in Japan, accompanying the minister on an official visit. When your team presented there, they lied to us. They said the target, same day, but the target will be submitted to the ministry, to the minister on that day. And we pointed to them because, sometimes when you guys present, you behave as if we don't prepare for meetings. When you coming to present to us on a quarterly achievements of yours, we go through the entire APP to prepare. And when you put it there on the slides, and we can tell you that it's not true. So your people lied, and we told the DDG so quick, but at DDG, because it's you who's submitting here, we should be taking you through as the acting DG of the day. But we'll allow you to go and do an investigation, met out consequence management on who did that thing, who misled you to put that lie in the presentation. We're still waiting. We don't know whether there was any consequence management or anything. So you are forcing us, and we told you, it's as if Rona are fighting you. We're not. We don't want to be fighting yourselves. We are supposed to be working together and making sure that the system works for those that it's supposed to work for. But you are making it very difficult for us. So you're forcing us there when we go to this one that members have asked us to go and look for, which we're going to speak to legal about, to also include these ones of yours, because it's been more than 3 months. It's as if you guys are not taking your job serious. So we'll close this matter this way, colleagues. We will we've taken notes. We will share the notes with yourselves for if there was any omission that we would have done. No, but is it on this process? No, but we've just summarized what we are going to do. Yeah, it's a different, the DGZ is going to answer the later stage. I've just summarized on this one, and I've just said if there is anything that on the summary we've missed, we will give you what is clarity. And let it be less than a minute. Yes.
Chair, this the clarity I want to understand. Are you saying that the process that is going to follow now, as per the summary you've just given, is going to run concurrently with the process of the approval of the budget? Is that my understanding? And if that is the understanding I have, then there's a risk, because in all honesty, no,
That's not what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
Yeah, I close the mic. I've said we don't have the days available. Yeah. Unfortunately, we have days that we are going to, like next week, we're meeting with the Department for APP. So this matter won't be discussed next week on Wednesday. We will ask them, we will write to them to provide us with answers by Wednesday next week. And then in the meantime, we will look at we'll have to apply to the House Chair to give us a day outside of what we're dealing with, outside of Wednesday. On Wednesdays, the next 2 Wednesdays, before the budget is debated in Parliament on the 3rd of April, will not be dealing with this matter. That's what I've said. So the budget issue, we're not going to touch those days. If we get a day, let's say on the 27th, which is a Friday, I'm making an example. If the House Chair approves, maybe we find that there's nothing that's happening in Parliament, and we apply for that day, and they gave us that particular day, then we'll have to sit on that day, which is outside of the process of our budget. So we're going to look at the days. It's not going to be on the 20th, on the 25th. It's not going to be on the 2nd, because unfortunately, because budget, we've had it for budget 3.0. Budget must be debated in Parliament by the 3rd of April. Those are the days that Parliament put aside. We are not going to change those ones. Even if you apply, they will tell you we are not going. We have a strict. That's why we've even removed having discussions with others. What is the issue, Honorable Khafa? Because I don't want us to have a back and forth on this.
Yeah, so Chair, I think perhaps my language was limited, but I understood you correctly, and that's why then this is the point I wanted to raise. We run into the risk, Chairperson, of having to adopt this department's budget before concluding on this matter. The reason why I would urge us to think differently about concluding on this matter is because there's the minister whose legitimacy, as far as ethical wise is concerned, as the head of this department, that's questionable. We have her who's still going to be the minister. You and your colleagues have now also raised the issue of the DG of the department, who's the head executive, the accounting authority of the department, and other officials that are involved within the department.
Yeah.
So the consideration thereof is we might run at the risk of having to pass a budget that the committee may feel, or the people who are responsible for overseeing it, if they are found guilty beyond what the guilt says right now, well, of the opinion shouldn't be holding those positions. So,
Yeah.
so that's the thing. That's the point I wanted to sensitize you towards. To say, while we're going to be engaging in the budget process, we must be cautious of not, because then some people might say we're not going to pass the budget at all until. So I don't want us to run into that risk.
Thank you.
Yes.
Susan.
No, thanks, Chair. I do not know whether I'm jumping the gun, but I would want to bring to your attention, Chairperson, the point that has been made and echoed a number of times in this committee. That is of the absence of the minister and the deputy ministers, and maybe you're still going to get to a point where you give us their apology again. But I want you perhaps Chair, to advise, as per the powers and privileges of Parliament, the continuous absence of the minister and deputy ministers in this committee, to say how do we move in terms of dealing with that particular aspect. Thank you very much. And there is an apology, obviously, of another member that I think you are yet to deal with.
Honorable Khaba.
No, Chairperson, thank you very much. Chair, I wanted us to assist the committee for purpose of progress. And, noting everything that has been raised as a concern, not necessarily preempting the outcomes of the process. Avoiding it's like preempting. Now, what we need to do, Chair, as a way of registering progress in this meeting, because this matter of oversight visit to Northwest and Free State is of critical importance. We close the matter with the proposed recommendations as per our deliberations, so that we avoid preempting, but of course taking into consideration the issues that we have raised. But of importance, Chairperson, the process of budget, as much as the DG and the minister can be found to be on the wrong side of the law in terms of our face value analysis, DG, it cannot be that we will not even use the budget to frustrate the students of South Africa who must mostly benefit out of this process. That one we can guarantee you, we can guarantee South Africans. We'll deal with this matter separately. We'll isolate the process separately. Chairperson, with that being said, I think we fully agree with Honorable Cow that we are moving together.
No, thank you very much. I think there's no issue here.